everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be making a poison apple cake. So this is a delicious apple cake topped with vanilla buttercream and a caramel apple on top that looks like it is bleeding. I think this is perfect because it looks like Halloween and it is using apples which are perfect for the fall, so it's like a combination of everything good about this time of the year. Oh, before we begin, if you're looking for something like this but maybe a little bit more gruesome, last year I did a bleeding cake that looks like it's bleeding and it's like stabbed with chocolate knives. When you cut into it, there's like goo in the middle, which is actually raspberry and chocolate. So good. So if you want to check that out as well, link will be in the cards right here. So first, to bake the cake, we are actually going to be using the same base that we used in our brain cupcakes video. I'll have that linked in the cards right here if you want to check that out. It's just a vanilla cake base, but I actually made too much in that video, so that's what inspired this recipe. So it is just the cake batter that we have here, and then to that we're going to be adding some chopped apples, some of the Wilton Treatology little flavor system thing. The flavors are very, very unique in that, which I think is really fun to play with. So we're using like the cinnamon graham cracker kind of flavor. If you don't have that, you don't want to pick it up, you can just use like a teaspoon of cinnamon. We're just going to add that. We're just going to add some of that to the mix, and we're going to keep it dyed red. Again, like, you don't have to keep it red. It's totally up to you, but I like it because it matches with the outside bloody drip that we're going to put on later. So yeah, so you just want to pour that into 4 greased and floured 6-inch round baking pans. Bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 to 25 minutes, or until a knife or like a skewer insert into the middle, it comes out clean, and then just cool those completely. And then to make the buttercream, it's also the same buttercream in that video, so we're just taking everything from there. I figure like I use these bases all the time. I don't know if you guys want me to like repeat the recipes over and over again. If you do, let me know in the comments down below. If you don't, I can also not do it and like speed up the video. Totally up to you, but either way, that's what we're doing today. So we're using my vanilla buttercream base, which again is from the Brain Cupcakes, which will be linked in the cards here. We're going to serve about 1.5 cups of that, and then to that 1.5 cups of buttercream, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of apple butter. I'm using my homemade apple butter that I successfully canned and preserved since I made it in September? August? I don't know. But I'll link it in the cards here if you want a homemade apple butter recipe. If not, you can just use store-bought, it's totally fine. We're going to be adding some apple butter to that smaller batch of buttercream, and we're going to use that for the layers in between the cakes. And it'll give you this like deliciously sweet but very, very mild apple flavor, which is perfect for this cake. Then to assemble the cake, you want to slice the tops and the bottoms off the cakes to smooth the surface and remove any excess browning. Then stack the cakes, but before adding the buttercream, you want to get some apple jelly or some apple juice if you like. Heat it up in the microwave until it's like liquidy and warm, and brush that onto the cakes, and that's just going to add another apple flavor and create the most like deliciously moist cake. I know so many people hate that word, I'm sorry. But it will add a lot of like hydration. I'm trying to avoid using it now. It'll make the cake taste delicious, and it'll add like another little hit of apple. And then you want to get that apple butter buttercream that we have and layer it between each layer. Then use your remaining buttercream that doesn't have the apple butter and coat the entire cake in a thin layer of that. And then just pop it in the fridge for 20 minutes for it to chill and stiffen. Then coat the cake and the rest of the buttercream, coating in a thick, generous layer. Then return the cake to the fridge to chill while we make the other components. So next we're going to be using a caramel apple. So I made homemade caramel apples. They're actually so easy. I did them like the first year I did YouTube full time, which was a long time ago, like 4 years ago, not too long ago. Anyways, I have that recipe. It's a really, really good one if you want to make caramel apples. So I made that again, and that's the apple that we're using. So if you want to make your own, I'll link the recipe in the cards here. My filming style has changed drastically since then, and my location and everything. So it's a bit of an older video, so just warning you. But either way, you want to dunk that apple into some melted white candy melts, and then pop it on a square of parchment paper and pop it into the fridge for the candy melts to set and harden. Depending on your preference, you can do 2 coats of white or just 1, totally up to you. Then to make the red drip that we're going to pour all over the cake, you want to combine some white chocolate and some whipping cream in a bowl. And if you're out of whipping cream like I was, coffee creamer works just as well because it's like basically cream and sugar. So you whisk those together until they're fully incorporated, then add some food coloring. I'm using the crimson color from Wilton. I'll link it down below. It is the perfect color for blood, if you like, because it's a lot deeper than traditional red food coloring. So if you want that like beautiful deep red that I use in like all my like bloody recipes, that's the color I recommend, and links down below. Then you want to pour some onto the top of the cake and smooth over the surface with a knife, kind of pushing it off the edge of the cake to create a drip pattern. If you decorate a lot of cakes and you want like an easy spatula, this one is amazing, so link below as well. Now place the apple on top of the cake, and then you want to cut some eyes and a nose shape out of some parchment paper, and then brush them with some corn syrup, and that will help them stick to the apple, because that's what you want to do next. And this prevents the drip from like dripping over those sections of the apple. So what we're gonna do next is pour the drip on top of the apple and like make sure it doesn't seep into little cracks of the parchment paper. So kind of just like press it down with your fingers, and then you want to let it dry for maybe about half an hour. Then after that, peel up the parchment paper and you'll see that it mostly worked for mine, that like it covered those little spots in the apple, so it looks like the blood is like dripping around the eyes of the apple. The nose didn't work so well for me, but I think that's like user error instead of like the technique not working, so yours might look better. But yeah, like how cool is that? And then you are done! So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video. I'm fighting like a beast of a cold, so I'm so sorry about this week not going as smoothly as I had hoped, but I'm gonna try to like push through it today and film a bunch, so hopefully by Friday we will have everything up for you guys. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button because I would love you to see the rest of the Halloween videos. There are so many coming. I'm so excited. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for an all new video. Bye!